Hi, it's Alexis, relationship counselor. In this video, we're going to talk about how to get back with an ex when they say it's not working. I feel that between us, it's not working. We've tried. I've tried to explain. You've tried to explain, but I feel it's not working. I'll explain the strategy, the plan, and also the mindset to adopt if you want to get back with an ex who tells you this. Jingle.
igetmyexback.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.
There's something you need to understand, first of all, is that love is not always enough. Very frequently, I see day in and day out couples breaking up even though they're in love. My job is to help you get back with your ex. The banner on my YouTube channel is Get Back with My Ex. But, and that's a secret, don't tell anyone, my ultimate goal is that I want you to be happy in a relationship. I don't really care if you get back with your ex. What I care about is that you're happy and that you have the skills, the tools to build healthy and secure relationship with your next partner. That partner could be your ex. But to be honest, it doesn't really matter for me, because what matters for you, you don't see it like this because you're in love with your ex, right? But at the end of the day, what you want is to be happy. Okay, and that's what we want to really assess in this video, is the potential of the relationship, what you can do to rescue that relationship, and what you can do to rescue your relationship towards a relationship, if that makes sense. So the thing is, sometimes we lie to ourselves and get drawn to the idea of the potential of a relationship. I call this the potential fallacy. When we are so hooked by, I love that person, I feel deep inside he's the right person for me, he has the potential, he ticks all the boxes, but right now it's not, the last 3 years, not really. But I know he has the potential. Right now, I want you to face that reality and force yourself to acknowledge that what you have in front of you is what you have in front of you. People who have a tendency to be anxious, who have a tendency to anticipate things, a tendency to visualize things, sometimes negative way or positive way, I don't see any sort of downside of being an optimistic person. But when you live in that reality of the potential and you are really attached to this idea, but every single day, every single hour, minute, you end up in a relationship, you end up in a dynamic that doesn't work for you, just pause for a second and reflect whether you're chasing a potential or you're chasing someone who's also happy to commit to the relationship, happy to invest in the relationship. So it's important for you to make a relationship inventory. What did you share? The values, your lifestyle, projects, future. Did you feel loved throughout the relationship, or did you feel there was just it was going just in one direction? In other words, was it mutual? Were you respectful of each other? The boundaries, the needs, did you feel your needs were met? Did you feel that you maybe said yes when you felt no? All these kind of things. So really have and create a relationship inventory. That's what I do with my clients. When usually the first few sessions, we have this exercise of doing that relationship inventory. One way to do it as well, it's not really a relationship inventory, but I also use this tool to assess whether the relationship is worth saving or the relationship is actually something that we can recover. It's a quiz, it's a test that you can take. The description is in, the link is in the description of this video. It's totally free, and I've created this assessment for you to get that knowledge that you can't really get other than taking that test. It gives you a score, and with that score you know how likely you are to get back with your ex. Now the real question is, what's in it for you? What's in it for me in this relationship, in this situation? Sometimes we try to rescue something because we are so attached to the idea of being in a relationship, so attached to the idea of, yeah, but if I'm not if I'm not dating that person, if not in a relationship, then I won't find anyone else. I won't be able to be happy. The pain of being alone is so difficult. I'm suffering so much of this situation. I hate loneliness. And that we forget what's in it for you in that relationship. What do you gain from the relationship? Do you gain this idea of safety that perhaps if you have the tendency to be anxious, is what you're drawn to, is to be attached to someone, regardless of who's that person, regardless of how respectful, how invested he or she is in the relationship? Or are you in a relationship where you feel the other is a playmate? Your couple is a team. And if you're not shooting in the same direction, it's not going to work. So ask yourself this question: what's in it for me? If I want to rescue that relationship, what's in it for me? What will I gain? A lot of people, a lot of my clients, sometimes they fail to recognize what do they need, what do they want? And it's actually a very difficult question to answer. It's an amazing coaching question, by the way. What do you want? Ask yourself this question. What do I want? And if the answer is like, I want to get my ex back. Okay. Why do you want your ex back? Ask yourself this question 7 times. Why? And really challenge that belief system, because behind this, usually there's a strong belief system, a limited belief that prevents you from seeing exactly what you want and what you need in your life right now. My job is to help people to get back with the ex. So I'm not saying you should give up. I'm not saying that person is not right for you, but I'm just trying to let you reflect. Because sometimes we're so obsessed about the idea of getting back with our ex that we fail to recognize that we are a person who needs to love ourselves first, who needs to accept our insecurities, who needs to understand what we can expect from a partner and what we need from a relationship. So what's in it for you? Did you feel happy with your ex the way they are? In order to get back with your ex, it's relationship recovery 101, you need to change. But they also need to change. Something needs to change. The dynamic needs to change. And it takes 2 for a relationship to function. And so, in that sense, do you feel a shared sense of responsibility? Or do you feel like your ex is like, that's all your fault, you're all at blame, I'm perfect, you're full of imperfection, I don't want this in my life, let's move on. Or do you feel like, he or she felt like, I didn't make the effort, I didn't manage to communicate my needs, I didn't manage to understand your needs, but I feel it went too far and it doesn't work, right? So make sure, again, that you're not chasing the potential and be with this fallacy that it will get better. I've had like almost every week people telling me, first 6 months amazing, then for the 5 years after, that was okay. That was okay, but I thought if we live together, it's going to be better. If we get married, it's going to be better. Once we'll have kids, it's going to be better. And we have this idea that, it will be better, wishful thinking, it's going to be better. And you realize down the line that you were the only one making the effort. And you can't change someone, right? You can't change your partner. You can only change yourself. And if that person wants to change, they will change. But it shouldn't come from you. It's very important for you to understand. So now let's get back you two together. It's not working. It's actually the easiest way, or the easiest route to get back together. Because it's not working, it's just a question of, it's not about the feeling, it's not about the compatibility. It's just a question of, I feel our communication. I feel that something, a framework, a dynamic that needs to change. I'm a strong believer that when you have a conversation like that, it's not working. Even if you're married and there's no breakup, but there's something not working. When you address this, you come stronger, right, as a couple. And so, again, it's about the dynamic. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with your feelings. So don't be depressed if your ex is telling you it's not working. Actually, it's a good thing because it's just a mechanical thing to change and to address. The breakup is based on fear. Avoidant will have this fear of commitment. Anxious people will have a fear of abandonment. If you're not familiar with attachment styles, I've made so many videos, so have a look on my channel. There are a few videos on that. And you can also reach out if you have questions. The fear is what really drives our behavior when it comes to decision, especially relationship decision, especially when it comes to breakup. And it's way, way stronger than desire and lust. So that's why I feel people will break up with you even if they're still in love. Very frequently, and it's actually a majority of cases of my clients, their exes will dump them, will break up with them, and they're still in love. All right? It's just that they feel like, I'm too hurt, I'm scared, and therefore that will take the lead over the love I have for you. So what is your ex scared of? So really try to understand the root cause of their fear. And the idea is to adapt your behavior to make sure that you create that safe space. So if your ex is anxious, it's really about how you can convey the idea that you can be more emotional, that you can connect at a deeper level, that you can be authentic. When your ex is avoidant, it's really about respecting their space, respecting their sort of freedom, right? So fear is usually an intuition, and that will be validated by your action. So what I mean by that is that you have a preconception of how people will react. And if your ex, for example, is avoidant, you're anxious, and your ex will feel like, oh, my ex is so needy, she or he's so clingy, it's too emotional, okay? If you behave this way, that will confirm their intuition. If you start behaving in a more secure way, and that's what I do with my clients, is I really coach them at being more secure, at using effective communication to convey this idea that they're more secure and that they can match their style, then the other will feel like, oh, actually, my assumption, my perception of the reality was wrong. And the person I have in front of me is actually someone where I feel it could work, right? So if you change the way you interact with them, they will stop scanning for threats. That's what we do. We're hardwired to scan for threats. We're quite in the nature. We had to be scared because we can't fight. And so that's why a lot of our chimp brain will always scan for threat. And that's what we do in relationship. It's very unconscious, but it's interesting how in relationship we act as chimps. And so when your ex will feel there's no sign of threat, there's no sign of her to be too clingy or him, asking me too much or invading my space, then they'll start to feel safe and they'll start to open up and they'll start to reconsider things. It's as simple as that. Remember this, make sure that first of all, you're rescuing a relationship that's worth your investment. I can't make that call, I can't decide for you, but you really need to be honest with yourself. You really need to take that step backward and reflect on this. Let me know in the comment section, actually, if it's something you just realized by watching this video, if it's something that sort of started an internal conversation with yourself. Remember, if you adapt your communication and your behavior, that perception of it's not working, of dysfunction, will disappear. It's mechanic. It takes a bit of time because it takes a bit of iteration. It takes a bit of time for your ex to see of different interaction, of different times seeing you, getting in touch with you. Usually I have a lot of clients on WhatsApp. At the moment I'm fully booked, but so have a look if you want. Maybe I'm fully booked, but if you want to book a call or WhatsApp, I'm fully booked at the moment. I don't know when this video will be published, but usually my clients on WhatsApp, I really coach them at having a more secure conversation, not being too emotional, trying to match their ex's style. And if you need any help either from myself or Elizabeth, have a look in the description. We are here for you. We are here to help you grow, to help you learn, to help you build a more successful relationship. If it's with your ex, that's a bonus. Otherwise, with someone else, at the end of the day, I want you to be helpful. I want you to be happy, and I want me to be helpful. Take care of yourself. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer.